And welcome everyone to Off the Page, the comic book podcast for the CBC channel. We are live on Twitch right now, so thank you for everyone in the chat for joining us. It's not a Donny Kate show this week, unfortunately, but you can find us everywhere if you just Google us at Comic Book Cast. You can follow us on Twitter at Mitch692 and Halftime Joe. He is over there somewhere in Texas. Yeah,
somewhere.
It's August. I'm gonna apologize for the news again because this is just there's nothing. I don't know how I managed to get better news for yesterday's main show compared to this one, but it's just how it rolls, and it don't roll very well. So yeah, I don't know if you want to just jump straight into it. If you got anything?
Yeah, we could just go into it.
Yeah, jump straight into it. Logan is gonna get a new villain in the Return of Wolverine. It's cool.
I mean, is it to be expected or no? I'm not reading this, so I don't know.
I mean, I don't know what I was expecting for this really, but it seems to be a trend of new villains coming in now. Superman,
yeah,
Wolverine,
I mean,
one.
yeah.
The Fantastic Four's got one. No doubt Iron Man will probably get one. I think Justice League Dark's got a new villain. Like in the resurgence of new villains, which is,
So,
I'm all cool.
So the Return of Wolverine, 92% is Logan's POV, but the other percent is some of it that's from the new villain. So, I mean, Wolverine's fine. Like, he's in the movies, he's fine to me. And some comics I've read him, he's fine. Like, but it's not like I'm probably gonna be reading this. So,
I mean, I'll be checking it out just because it's Wolverine. It's one of the
Soul is on it, so that is a good book, probably. If Soul's on it.
Yeah, Solder's on it. He's doing his little Wolverine trilogy.
Does it say anything about the character? Like the name is
yeah, she is called Persephone.
Yeah, but is that?
I think that's all we know.
Alright.
We know it's she's an antagonist, and she's called Persephone. If someone can find me the definition of Persephone, you might be able to get something from it.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to maybe seen a mock-up of what she looks like, maybe what her powers are compared, like how I don't know. Like I'm not anticipating that Soul was gonna like spoil the story and say what she's fighting Wolverine about, but
No,
I thought maybe it could be something. So
Persephone. I should have just asked Google this, but I'm googling it anyway.
Google, but
A daughter of Zeus and Demeter, abducted by Pluto to reign with him over the underworld.
I mean,
So
that's
it's clearly
just
got something to do with him coming
mythology.
back.
Yeah. Maybe he wasn't supposed to come back. Oh, shocker.
Maybe. Probably has some ties to why his claws now heat up.
Yeah, they're called the hot claws. Hashtag hot claws.
Have you seen all the memes Charles Soule did of that?
No, is it like
So funny. They're so funny. If you go in the Trash channel in Discord, Gerald posted a ton of them in there. So fun.
Discord?
Yes. In our Discord, which you can find the link to in several different places.
Yeah.
Including on Twitch. But yeah.
I mean,
it's cool.
Yeah.
It's new villain. There's not really much, like, these topics, there's not really that much to talk about, but it's a cool villain. No, well, new villain's always cool, so can't really complain.
Agree.
If it does follow like Persephone literally, like the first Firmament did with Ewing's Ultimates run, then could lead to an interesting story.
I agree. It's just there you go. Persephone.
I've got a right cough today. The next one, because that was a really quick topic. Scott Snyder has shed some details on his Justice League run. He's going to be at least 50 issues long, so rip me. Hopefully he gets better. Also, I don't know if we used before, but Tinian's writing every 5 issues.
Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned it. I know I read it before at least. That he's going to be.
It sounded familiar. I just didn't know how many issues it was, or if it's going to be consistent.
Yeah.
But so yeah, every 5 issues we can get a Legion of Doom issue, like we just had last week or 2 weeks ago.
What did he say though? I thought it was like I'm trying to see. So yeah, it's gonna be 50 issues, but I think he says something more. Teases.
Yeah, he did.
Big crossover.
He goes back to what he said at Comic-Con. There's a 2019 crossover coming, which there's been talk about before. We kind kind of knew it already. In the crossover, he's going to be bringing back the Titans. I can't remember what they're called in No Justice. What are their names? The Omega Titans.
Oh yeah, let's just call them that. I
Yeah.
don't know what else to call.
The Celestial ripoffs are coming back.
I'm pretty sure they're called Omega Titans. I think so.
Yeah,
It
they are
sounds
called
about right.
Omega
Okay, it
Titans,
sounds
yeah.
about right.
I just finally saw the thing in the paragraph.
Yeah.
Barbatos is coming back. The Forge is
Oh,
coming
that's
back.
kind of cool.
So it's kind of cool that, you know, he says he wants it to pay off for everything. I suppose Metal really did kind of kickstart this entire story, so rounding them back up. Probably.
Everything's coming back. I'll accumulate in a year like a metal event. I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying that, but I'm saying it. Yeah, I just, I mean, it makes sense. It's just I don't know. I still feel like No Justice would not necessary, but I mean, it is what it is. You could have did the Omega Titans in Justice League. I don't see.
I say the first issue of Justice League should have been, or the first arc should have been the Omega Titans. It makes far more sense.
Yeah,
but hey, gotta get that event money because people like events.
The next issue is Justice League, released on August 15th, which is next week. 50 issues. So okay, but it's also is it bi-weekly? Yeah, right. So it's like half a.
Yeah, this is bi-weekly. Yeah.
So like 25 weeks. We're not gonna have to wait that long, I guess.
I mean, with 2019.
Yeah, it'll be 2019.
I suppose we're over halfway through the year, so it's been like what 26 weeks.
Oh, it's already been what 7 issues or so. So it's like.
We've had 4 or 5 issues of Justice League.
I thought it was 7 already for some reason.
Not that far in.
That far. I mean, I think like I'm clearly there is something, like a good story here, you know, about like Justice League, the Legion of Doom.
I mean, there's a story. There's a story here. I'll give you that.
Clearly, there's a story.
Tinian's parts are the good
Tinian, right? So great at like dialogue, and I just loved his origin with the Legion of Doom and stuff like that. But I'm interested to see how Snyder takes it from here, because so far from the first 4 issues of it just him, like, just seems like there's so much happening. I don't know if there needed to be so much happening at the same time, but there is some interesting parts. Like, I'm curious as to the source wall, like what they're actually going to put behind, like what's actually coming out of it, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm curious for some stuff like that, and like what he makes up, because his ideas are great. Like, you know,
he's a very good idea, man.
Like
good idea, man.
The having the 7 forces and stuff like that, and the Martian Manhunter seeing something and that's beyond, like, or from the beginning of time. I don't know, all the stuff that he's introduced in the first 4 issues, and like the ideas are really great. Like you said, not executed the best, but I'm curious to see what the next couple ideas are going to be. Hopefully, they're executing better and to come. Yeah.
I mean, hopefully. I mean, at least Tinian's are going to get it, because he has put the importance on Tinian's Legion of Doom books. Because every time he has one, there's going to be something massive and a big reveal and yada 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 yada. All the typical sales pitches. I'm wondering how Odyssey's going to play into this, because that still hasn't come out yet. But apparently it was supposed to be in this.
Odyssey?
But yeah.
Yeah, when is that coming out?
Fuck knows at this point. It's DC, they delay everything.
Justice League Odyssey.
At the rate Odyssey's going, it's probably not even going to come out.
That so sucks, man. I was really looking forward to that, because I was curious as to... Oh, so it says there September 26th. I was curious as to how, like, Cyborg, Darkseid, you know, Starfire, all of them play about it, but... I mean,
I assume it was supposed to be like one of the bigger titles, just with Dark, because it's got Darkseid in it. But
so when a cosmic menace threatens worlds beyond our, this is what Justice League #1 says. Cosmic menace threatens worlds beyond our own in the Ghost Sector. It falls to a new Justice League team to answer the call to battle Cyborg. And out of his element, Azra heads to deep space inside a commanded Brainiac's ghost ship. But as these wildcard teammates try to stop Despero from slave trading Kaluan refugees, Despero, he's back. They discover something that nothing in the universe could prepare them for. Darkseid, who say he's here to help. Like that. That's interesting. I just wish the art didn't mess up, apparently, because remember that was like the reason.
The reason?
Yeah, the reason they pushed it back, because of the art.
Oh yeah. Well, it was more a continuity error, but
yeah. Kind of sucks, but
yeah, I mean, hopefully it's good. Like, if that DC leak was anything to believe, which apparently it wasn't.
I didn't know there was a DC
Or,
leak.
that was a massive one.
Yeah, I try not to read leaks.
Apparently half of it was either like just stuff we've known before, or it was just a load of bollocks. But apparently, according to that, I don't know how true it is though. They're not really happy with it, but
What, that they had to push it back?
yeah, that was part of it.
I mean, I'm sure.
We'll never know. So
Eh,
unfortunate.
yeah,
But
I'm excited to see what happens with Justice League. I know you're not the biggest fan of Sky Snyder, but it's fine. We'll get over it.
I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah.
Because it's a really cool idea he's got going on. It's just better execution could be, well, it would be a nice thing. Yeah. So prepare for a massive Justice League crossover event in 2019, probably around March. I think is when people are saying it's going to come out, but you don't know. Which actually would make sense because it'd be a big summer thing, wouldn't it? Yeah. Next one, Chip Zdarsky has announced he is leaving Spectacular Spider-Man with issue 310, which he's going to be writing and drawing himself. I don't know why he's leaving. He hasn't said. He's just said it's the hardest, or it's a really hard decision to make, but he's got some cool stuff in the pipeline.
That's cool. I mean, Zdarsky does great art, so if you have some more cool stuff in the pipeline, that's cool with me. I'm fine. I mean, I don't know, but you're reading this and you're like super excited for Zdarsky.
I haven't actually read it in a while.
Okay.
I dropped off it. There's no reason they don't. Well, the only reason why I dropped off it was because I was reading too much, and it's like something had to go. And unfortunately, Spectacular, because it was more like a, I don't know, Slots at the time, because Slots' run was ending, it just kind of took precedent over this one. But you know, Zdarsky does some crazy stuff in this. You know, he's brought back his Parker's sister. He's had Parker reveal to J. Jonah Jameson that he is in fact Spider-Man. You know, he said that he's like the hardest part was because he knows what Spencer's doing and what he's got coming up, so he's not going to get to play in that sandbox anymore. But yeah, so I've heard people really enjoy his Spectacular run, and I'm pretty certain he's on another Marvel title.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think Marvel would want to get rid of Zdarsky because he's quite a big name, or he's becoming a big name. Not like Jim Zub, who's just kind of skyrocketed along with other people. But even then, that's like skyrocketed higher. But yeah, and keeping in the Zdarsky wheelhouse, expect Marvel 2-in-1 to get kind of a soft reboot, or as he says, a reinvention. Obviously, because we have the Fantastic Four back now, in case you've been under a rock and you didn't realize it was this week. So, you know, his 2-in-1 series was building up. Or it was supposed to be building up to Return of the Fantastic Four. It kind of has, kind of didn't. So yeah, obviously once all the four are back, you can't really have a 2-in-1. So it's probably going to go back to how 2-in-1 used to be, which is the thing, having adventures with another Marvel character or two. So yeah, and that is...
yeah.
Unless you've got anything to say about 2-in-1. Have you been reading 2-in-1?
Not really. But I read Fantastic Four, so we'll talk about it later.
So 2-in-1's really... It adds context to a lot of the Fantastic Four stuff. It's just been really fun. It's just been a really good issue. Some interesting stuff.
They're keeping it?
Yeah, they're keeping it, yeah.
It's a little weird.
I think it's cool.
That's cool, but it's a little weird just because I thought it was just more of a, like a prelude?
I mean, it kind of is, or it kind of was.
Yeah.
You know, 2-in-1 before, like way back when, before half people even listened to us were born. 2-in-1 was literally just Ben Grimm, the Thing, and someone else, and they go on an adventure, and that was the entire series. So it's probably going to go back to more like that, as opposed to what it is now, where it's Ben and Johnny trying to find Reed, Sue, and the kids.
That's cool. That's gonna be fun. You told me like people love them two as a team, so it's like sure.
It's really good. If you haven't checked 2-in-1 out, it's a high recommend.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't like, if you do like it, but you don't want to carry on afterwards, it's technically rebooting kind of, so you can just drop it and go Fantastic Four. But yeah, that's the end of the news. That was really quick. I don't know how long that was. But But oh well, we've got more time for the comics of the week. I didn't change the fucking date on the layout. For August 9th, 2018.
It's actually August 8th.
It is August 8th, you are right. I'm going by today's date.
Yeah, today's, as you're hearing this, it's not August 8th, it's August 9th, but the comics of the week, the Wednesday was August 8th.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
I've got me down as going first, haven't I?
Yeah, yeah.
Champions number 23. It picks up from last issue where they ran into Man-Thing. I almost called him Swamp Thing again. Viv gets burnt because everyone who knows Fear burns at the touch of Man-Thing, which is the interesting part because Viv is a synthezoid and she's purged her emotions, yet she's still got like horrifically burned. And of course, Man-Thing can't talk, so no one really understands what's going on. There's a massive fight. He almost gets Sam because Sam's not a Nova anymore because they took his helmet away from him. We're keeping the villain from the last arc. I can't think what it was called. Master of the World or something like that. And he was trying to like fix like the environment, but he's doing it for his own reasons, not like for the good of everything.
He's trying to fix the environment, and that's a bad thing?
I mean, that was the whole point of that little arc. It's like, well, is it a bad thing? Yeah. It's like his plan's going to take like thousands of years, so it's not our problem.
Yeah.
So if we help him out now, then it's someone else. It's future us's problem, you know. It's not present us problem.
Agreed.
The real interesting part of this issue is it's very much playing on like Tom King's Vision run.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of like why Viv's such a good character at this minute. But you know, she was turned into a human by the High Evolutionary a couple of arcs back. They managed to get her back. Vision created another version of Viv that was a synthezoid, and this Viv killed that Viv, and then now they kind of merged. And like where she's been burnt by Man-Thing, she's in like this little comatose state, but not really, and they can't like boot her out of it. So then you get like you dive into like the little mindscape of that, and her sister's there with a hole in her chest still, and it seems to be she's trying to force Viv to have her emotions, and it's like, oh, to be human is to have the pain, yada 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 yada.
Yeah.
And like where Man-Thing acts on emotions like fear and curiosity and all that, that's kind of like what drives him. He realizes Viv is having all this stuff, so he's trying to help her, but they don't know that. So I assume because what's coming up is they're going to Weird World. He actually drags her through a portal to Weird World, but it doesn't end up taking her. He ends up having who was it? I think it's Sam and Wasp or Nadia Van Dyne. So yeah, they're either they're going to be gone for a couple of issues because they're on a Weird World and they're going to be all crazy Dungeons and Dragons stuff. I don't know, but in 2 issues' time, that's what it's going to be. So it's a really good issue. If you're not reading Champions, jump on. It's real fun.
That's one of those that like, I know I've always thought was a good idea with like almost in a way Young Avengers, but it's they're called Champions.
Yeah.
I think I didn't get into it because the art weirded me out a bit, but I'm pretty sure I had to get over it. I had to get over it. The art is probably
the Mark Waid the art kind of went backwards and forwards. Well, I say backwards and forwards. It was mostly Ramos.
Isn't this a new run or?
It's a new creative team, yeah. It's Jim Zub, and it hasn't got a consistent art.
Because this isn't the same Champions from when Secret.
It's the same. It's the same Champions, yeah.
It's monthly. I guess that's why. So used to bi-weekly that like it just felt like number 23 seemed like it was new. Hey, that's what happens.
Well, I mean, it's only been around for 23 weeks. Like,
yeah. But I mean, if it was like bi-weekly, it'd be around for 3 months or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that weird thing where I thought it was just around for 3 months.
Yeah. But no, it's I think it was issue 19.
Yeah,
Zub took over, and if you want to check it out, that's when it gets really good. Like he stops trying to have them as an Avengers but young. And it's like, no, we're different. This is our mission statement.
I like that. You gotta make them different, right? I think that was the way to.
And he has, like everyone complaining about replacing characters. Like, oh, Amadeus chose just the Hulk. It's like, well, he's not just the Hulk anymore. I mean, he still is kind of a Hulk, but he's not called Hulk. He's now called Brawn. He's not a big Hulk. He's more just like a slightly bigger, muscular version of himself with a costume. Ironheart no longer has the Tony Stark armor because Thanos just obliterated the fuck out of that thing. She now has her armor. Nadia's still Nadia. Sam's no longer Nova, unfortunately. I don't know how they're going to fix that. Maybe the Weird World stuff will do something for him. But yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Miles should be back in an issue or two because he's
finally. Where'd he go?
Yeah. In the last issue of Bendis' run, he put him in the hospital.
Yeah.
Because of what Bendis went through. So he's like, oh, I'm going to have Miles be like me and go through what I went through so people can understand what I did. And yeah. So it was kind of nice to leave it up at the same time. It's like, you left Miles in the hospital, Bendis. How dare you?
There you go, Bendis. So sure, I'll go on to my first one, which is going to be talking about Supergirl 21. Now, I'm kind of going into this in the middle of the current run. I think it's a new creative team. Mark Andreyko, who previously did Batwoman, is on this, and this is kind of, her getting the new outfit and all that. But
just to interrupt you quickly, sorry. Chat says Sean Isaac's taking over the art for Champions with Zub, so he's a fantastic artist. So if you like it art,
also, Chad said when you didn't read Supergirl but read Titans, and chose to talk about Supergirl, not Titans. This was a really fun issue. I was just reading it, and I just had a lot of fun. Crypto, the Superdog's in this. It does a lot. But that's a lot because. So, of course, the axe that in the cover of Supergirl is Rogozar's axe, and she's probably going to try to kill him with his own weapon, and eventually she's going to get a new suit because she still has the Supergirl suit. But, yeah.
She's going to get that fucking awful black, blue, and red thing.
I don't know, it looks kind of cool to me with the cape.
It's horrible.
I like
it. I question how she puts that on.
I mean, I question
does she floss that cape?
I question how most superheroes put their costumes on, and most of the time I think to myself, why am I questioning it? It's kind of just...
Yeah, but not all people have a cape in the crotch. That's what... It's just how do you put that on and why?
A lot of people do weird things with their costumes, but...
Yeah, she does. Not that I'm kink-shaming, but you go ahead.
This issue does an aspect to Supergirl and Superman's relationship that I've always been interested in, and I feel like... they mention it, but I always feel like they try not to because it paints Superman in a bad light, in a sense. Where it's, of course, Superman was a baby. He doesn't remember any of Krypton. He lived his whole life. All he knows is Earth and the farm and Smallville. Supergirl, in some incarnations, usually is around she could be a teenager. And then she heads off Krypton with the show Supergirl, as she was about, I want to say, 6 or 7, right? She seemed like she was small, not a teenager, but she could kind of remember stuff.
Yeah.
In Smallville, she definitely was I think if I remember, teenager, and she could remember everything in her whole life.
I mean, most people in Smallville teenagers.
Yeah, but they did this in Smallville, and it's something I've always enjoyed, and they mentioned it in certain comics, and it depends on how old they make Supergirl from when she leaves Krypton. If she's a teenager, she'll remember everything. She's younger, they'll say she kind of remembers some stuff, but that she remembers she's trying to make Earth her home, stuff like that. But in this part of the relationship, Superman's always saying don't go looking for Krypton, it's dead already. You have to look to the future and stuff like that. And you can see where he's coming from, but Supergirl will always say well, you don't remember living on Krypton. I actually remember people that I've made relationships with. A guy, she even said in this issue, a guy that I had a crush on, family members, and she lost it all. That, it's not as dark and serious as that aspect makes it believe. The art makes it feel lighter, which I enjoy about it. And Hal Jordan makes an appearance. I guess in Bendis' kind of run, Hal Jordan, he likes Hal Jordan because he's rubbing off on other people. Hal Jordan is making more of an appearance in places. Not entirely sure why. Maybe he's just hey, we need somebody who knows outer space to kind of give our heroes this way into it. And I guess that has to be Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern. So, okay. And Chad even says in some incarnation she is old enough to babysit Clark. So
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, but there's 7-year-old to babysit, so I would tend to assume that in this, what they're trying to write with this story, that she was at least a teenager. Um, but yeah, it's just kind of like that back and forth, and her kind of figuring out what she should do next. She knows she wants to go find Rogozar and find out what happened, like if there was a conspiracy that destroyed Krypton, but she also doesn't know if it's worth it. And eventually she gets into it that it is, and Krypto goes with her because Superman doesn't want her to go alone. So I thought that was kind of cool.
So just a quick question: where does this take place, or
And like
when?
the timelines, I would after Rogozar, I would assume like
But then why is she looking for Rogozar? She knows exactly where he is.
she doesn't know where he is.
She put him in the Phantom Zone. She knows exactly where he is.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, my bad. I'm not saying like Rogozar. I meant like the conspiracy.
Yeah, all right, that's
Sorry,
fair
that's my bad.
I was like,
Yeah.
she knows exactly where he is, what she's doing.
She also would want to kill him one day eventually, I assume. But she's looking to
I
find.
mean, yeah, I got that with the battle axe, but
This is new. I don't remember there being like a conspiracy that somebody hired Rogozar as a hitman to help destroy Krypton. I never really recall something like that.
well, no, that's not what Bendis wrote, is it?
I mean,
Because Rogozar was a hitman for like the I was gonna say Guardians, but it's not the Guardians. But,
no.
That Space Council.
He
That's what Rogozar was, but he didn't. They said no to him taking action with Krypton,
yeah.
but he did it anyway.
I thought he was a hitman for somebody else. Like I thought he was just for hire. Like he said, in Bendis' Man of Steel run, we initially thought that he just wants to destroy Krypton just because he hates Kryptonians, right? And in Supergirl,
Yeah, that's what he said.
yeah, and whether they do it in Action Comics or Superman, Supergirl is trying to hint at that somebody try to push, Rogozar to go do it.
I mean, maybe because the council said no to him.
Because there is, reading this Superman, like this current issue, it kind of seems like somebody told him to do it. Because we'll talk about it later, but it almost seemed like he just did it because it was like almost like a job. Even though he ate Kryptonians, he also did it because it was a job. So I think Bendis did hint at it a little bit, but they haven't gone too much into it.
But then you look at what he's done this week; it doesn't feel like it's a job.
We'll talk about it when we get into it. So finishing Supergirl real quick. I enjoyed it. I thought it was the art made it a really light, fun read. There was a moment where Clark gives Kara a letter, and you can read some of it. And I'm glad because I wish they didn't. I'm glad they didn't. Make it where you couldn't read it like it was just scribbling lines and you're just pretending like you're reading it. No, like you can actually read like they wrote a letter. I thought that was cool that Mark and Draco took the time to write this letter in the way Superman would write it to Supergirl. So it was interesting. We take it. Curious. I might keep on with it. It seems interesting in what they're doing with the whole conspiracy aspect to it, and that she and Hal Jordan unlocked something that hasn't been unlocked in a long time, and that there's someone didn't want them to know about something. So I'm curious as to see how that plays out, but interested to see where it goes. So yeah,
cool. My next one is Amazing Spider-Man #3, and of course we have Peter Parker and Spider-Man as two different people now after last week. We kind of get a bit of answers to how that happened. It was the accelerator thing, so he's made it a bit clearer this issue instead of just being like, oh, there's an explosion of chemical gas. But it's like, no, it's like a combination between the gas and the particle accelerator. Not particle accelerator, but you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. For the most part, it's just a slice of life. Very, very small, down-to-earth issue. It's just him being like, I don't have to be Spider-Man anymore. I technically am Spider-Man because I'm out there doing shit as Spider-Man, but I'm here doing this. For the most part, it's him, MJ, his roommate, can't remember his name, and then what's her name? A real old character we haven't seen in a while, and I can't think. Nora Winters comes back. And, they're just bowling, and it's just Peter trying to cope with not being Spider-Man.
Yeah.
For the most of the issue, the Tri-Sentinel shows up. That's a really obscure villain we've not seen in a long time. There's a theme in Marvel at the minute of bringing back old obscure villains. for just little fun, like one-offs or maybe two-offs. Yeah, you get a little bit of Peter and Spider-Man trying to figure out if they are super people or not. The only thing is we don't actually ever see Spider-Man take his mask off, so I don't know what is going on underneath there. I assume it's just the same, and for artist's sake to keep them different, he just keeps the mask on. But what ends up happening is Doc Connors kind of goes like, look at this rat we got. This rat's the best rat ever. It's learnt this maze, it can do this. But look what happens when we do this accelerator thing on it, and it splits into two rats. And it's like, well, this half of the rat, it's really good. It's kept all the skills and all the knowledge and all the memories, and it's just running through this maze. The other rat is kind of dumb. It's not a very intelligent rat. It doesn't really care about running through the maze. And then it's kind of like at that point, Peter realizes he doesn't really know much about like little sciencey bits. He's just kind of like, yeah, okay. What's this called again? And stuff like that. And of course, Connors goes on about how the human body and personality is a balance. You need this bit and that bit to make this, and you even if you split them, you're not going to have like a perfect split of the same person. There's going to be an unbalance with everything. Because of course there is, you can't just have two to the same person. So yeah, Peter's getting dumber. We don't know what's going on with Spider-Man, or the Spider-Man side of him. Maybe he's getting a bit too cocky, a bit too cocksure of himself. We'll find out. But yeah, very quick reading issue, this one. Very quick reading issue. But it's fun, it's cool, it's an interesting concept. I'm excited to see where it goes. But no further developments on the marriage, though. That seems to be the only thing. It's just like, I suppose 3 issues in, you got to kind of stop it. Maybe next issue will get development. But yeah, cool little issue.
So yeah, you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's a real good issue. It's bringing like Spider-Man a bit more back down to earth, even though you're split in two. But yeah, feels very classic Spider-Man.
All right, my next one, Superman #2. Now, this one I wanted to talk a little bit more what I just mentioned about possibly someone hiring Rogozar and whatnot. There's a part of it where this like starts off with Superman and how he's in the Phantom Zone, and apparently they are actually in the Phantom Zone. Like the Earth.
I told you.
I thought it was just a projection.
Nope.
But yeah, so and then everybody like in the league kind of like, what are they just? What's the word I'm looking for? They're fainting, I guess, because
aren't you so happy that Batman shits himself when the Earth stops rotating? Aren't you so glad that happens? It's like, thanks, Bendis.
I didn't really care too much, but like I guess I just kind of skimmed over all that because the more important part to me was the Rogozar stuff and how there was a little monologue for him and where he going to the Phantom Zone, he was dead, and that he thought it was going to mean a failure, but actually, like, it meant a warrior's death was something he looked forward to, and I was like, okay, that's interesting, and they do a little bit of teasing, like, I wanted to do it, but there was someone else out there, I think, and the thing now, I guess the thing is he's just going to find people in the Phantom Zone to team up with, is what I gather.
Or just clap their faces in half.
Or that too, yeah. Nuclear Man just.
Just like, he's dead.
Yeah, I did not expect that. Like, that's way too soon.
Was Nuclear Man always a character in DC, or is that just a movie thing?
I'm gonna say it was a movie thing because they made it seem like it was only a movie thing when they made an article that he's coming to the comics, and they're like, "Oh man, Nuclear Man is in the comics now," and I was like, "Oh, he must be a movie thing only."
Rip Nuclear Man.
Yeah, but
you got clapped.
I'm not like all that pumped for what's coming in Superman in Action Comics. No? Like, seems alright. Like, I don't know.
See, I thought it was a really bad issue.
Yeah, I didn't.
Real bad issue.
I wasn't this issue. I wasn't too into it. There was just that one moment of that monologue where Roger's on. That was kind of it. But even then, it's kind of, I don't know. There's just not too much to it. And
I don't know because nothing literally happens.
I don't know if keeping up with it.
The story doesn't progress. Superman's floating in the same spot he was at the start of the issue. He's at the end.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I want to keep up with it. I might for the first arc, like whether it be 5 or 6 issues.
Just keep on the first arc.
Yeah, it's. Bendis, man. Now I know. Now I know.
The sad part of this isn't Bendis at his best.
Oh, well.
You read Ultimate Spider-Man, that thing is a masterpiece from start to finish.
Yeah, I'm just not the biggest fan of kind of where this is going. Like, some of the stuff is interesting, but I guess just the overall, like, how it's written, just not a fan of. It just feels not.
Also,
that
the Flash part was weird.
Him being stupid, and I was like, you're dumb.
It's like, oh, I forgot what Flash I am. It's like,
did he just watch the show or what?
It's like you forgot what Flash you were like a couple of issues ago.
Did Bendis just watch the Flash show, catching it on Netflix?
I mean, he's read some DC stuff. He's just like, the show's probably influenced it a lot. But...
Yeah, nah, like Barry's nothing like the actual. Like, most Barry incarnations is nothing like the show. Most, like, majority of Barry Allen incarnations. So, but I mean, that's not even the part why I dislike this issue. I don't know, it just doesn't seem that good. I don't necessarily think the dialogue is up to par with any of these characters. Like, I mean, the only funny part was Batman here, like this and that, and like, Batman, we know it too. You don't have to say your name. Like, that was kind of funny, but that's also kind of cheesy.
That wasn't the Justice League we have in the Justice League book.
Was it?
No, there's Hawkman and Plastic Man on it. They're not in the Justice League book.
Oh yeah, see, now Bendis is just kind of like making his own Justice League.
Yeah, it's just like, Bendis, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You've had 7 issues, maybe 8, and you've already done some fuck. Like, to be fair, that could just be an artist thing. Maybe down the line, the league switches like the roster and they come on it. But for right now, it's just like...
I don't know. It just doesn't also seem well paced, because it does seem like they go too fast on certain things. And it's like, also nothing happens where Superman is still there. So, yeah. I don't want to talk about it too much, because it's just like, it's just there.
It's just strange. It's just really strange.
Yeah.
Like, you would have thought Bendis would have got a bit of, like, rejuvenation. And, like...
That's exactly what I thought.
Would have written some, but it's... I don't know. It's just disappointing. It's like, Bendis, you can do better than this. You know, you had, like, 20 years of doing better than this, you know. The guy reinvented the Avengers and everything, but...
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. Maybe he's just not on the right book. Maybe it's just more, if I'm going to DC, I want Superman and Action Comics. I want the big names. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Then again, he's not very good with cosmic characters, and Superman is kind of cosmic. Yeah. My last one is probably the biggest one this week, and probably will be this month. And that's Fantastic Four #1. The world's greatest comic magazine is back. If you're expecting the Fantastic Four, you will be disappointed.
I mean, the characters were disappointed in the comics.
That's very that's kind of my argument against it.
Yeah.
But you know, they were never gonna have them come back in Marvel 2-in-1. There was just no way on earth you do that. It's not good for sales. Why would you miss out on the sales of Fantastic Four? But, you know, Slott still is respecting what 2-in-1 did, even though Johnny in that kind of accepted they were dead in that. But in this, he's kind of not. But then again, you could argue that just because he says he accepted doesn't mean he actually did. And it's kind of a hard thing to get over. It's a very, like, meta issue.
Yeah.
Where everyone's like, oh, there's a Fantastic Four signal, they're back. And it's like, not quite. They're coming back, but it's not quite. And of course, probably the biggest thing with this issue that shows Slott's going to be doing something different is that they're actually going to progress these characters. Because for the first time in like 40, 50 years, Ben proposed to, I can't remember her name. Was it?
Oh,
Alicia?
Yeah.
Alicia?
I think so.
I want to say it's Alicia.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So he's never proposed.
He's never proposed.
That's nice. That's nice that they did that.
So if you're really invested in these characters, that will like hit you like a freight train in the feels.
Yeah.
That's it. Alicia, I knew it was something like that. I just couldn't.
I haven't read in a minute since Ultimates, I feel like, and I was just like, yo, this is still cool. But I didn't. You know, I wasn't hit probably with the same impact as you, but I was still like, yo, this is kind of cool. I always kind of thought they were married anyway, but now that you tell me, it's like, oh, man, this is awesome. Like, the first time.
Also, just put another one down on the Marvel engagements. There seems to be a thing now. It's like, oh, Batman's getting engaged. To have everyone get engaged, whether they get married or not is yet to be seen. No, we do see Reed and Sue. They are in a flashback. It has the introduction of the new villain, who, even though she's not a villain at the time, and I can't remember for the life of me what her name is, it's something funky. Where is that flashback? Where is that flashback? What's her name? Astra.
Yeah, Namika. Yeah, and they had to sing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of. Was that a real
name? No, that's completely brand new.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I was about to say. I was like, is that something for like the 60s, 70s? Like that'd be funny.
Yeah. Completely brand new. I personally find it a very smart way to introduce it. It's like, oh look, here's a secret story you never knew about. Yeah. It's kind of cliche, but it's like, it works. And especially the way in the context, it's like, oh, here's a story that you've never heard of. Old man who runs the building while we're away because some kid stole a signal flare. Yeah. Little bastards. But Astronomica, she's clearly going to be the villain they're teasing. All you've got to do is look at it and you can see what's going on.
Also, you think she's just going to be bad now?
I mean, there's going to be a reason for it, whether, the context of what the flashback is, where they find their way back to Earth, but maybe she can't find her way back.
Yeah.
In that she blames it on Reed. I don't know. That could be a motivation for it. We'll have to see. And don't worry, Slott has said they will be back in the next issue. You'll have the four together in a month's time. Now, you've waited this long. What's a month? But it's just nice to have them back. And if I had to give a little critique of this issue, it's probably the colors. I can't remember how you pronounce his name. I think it's Marty, or it's Spanish. It's like Marte.
Let me see real quick. Let's look at it real quick. Give me one second. Just keep talking. Look it up.
I think it's like Marta Gracia.
I'm about to look it up. Where's Marvel? Fantastic Four.
Yeah. He's a very good colorist. He did the all new X-Men. Probably the best part about that book was the colors. I don't think his and Pichelli's are the best fit.
Really? Like, I don't see anybody on this website where it says the artist, where it just says Dan Slott, Sarah Pichelli, Scotty Young, Esad Ribic.
Huh, that's interesting. I mean, if you can find a picture of the cover, it'll have his name on there.
Right, let me go to the cover real quick. Give me a second.
But yeah, it's just a strange situation because the art's really good, the colors are really good. I just don't think they're the best fit. I don't know. It feels like they're trying to imitate Tony Stark Iron Man's look. Like, have all the big bright colors.
So, for someone who hasn't been keeping up with 2-in-1, were there some panels or pages with Reed and Sue in there that kind of teases even more? Because this one you saw one page, and was that some of that in?
You've seen Reed in 2-in-1. It's not our Reed.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Our Reed. I'm specifically saying our Reed. Like this.
Yeah,
I know the last time we saw them was in Legacy, or not even Reed. We saw the kids.
The last time we saw Reed Richards was Secret Wars.
Yeah, but we saw the kids in Legacy, right? That was like the last time. So Legacy was the last time, and everybody thought everybody from then on was like, oh, they're coming back soon, right? We actually haven't seen Reed and Sue since Secret Wars. You're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. Just adding in there. I'm looking for the artist right now. Color artist Jeremy Tresse, Marco Ruscio. Oh, that one. Color artist Marte Gracia.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
I just wrote every artist. It makes it sound Spanish.
Yeah. So I know it's like a Spanish Latin name. It's like, pronounce it, Joe.
Is it Ultimate Reed? Is he still around? I don't think Ultimate Reed is still probably around, right? He has to be. He's one of the biggest villains or characters in such a long time.
Ultimate Reed is around somewhere. He was in Al Ewing's Ultimates. I don't know where he is, but the 1610 Ultimates are trying to find him in space somewhere. I don't know if that will ever be brought up, but it will happen. You also there's a nice little backup page explaining how Doom comes back, because spoilers, Victor Von Doom is no longer a good guy, but he's no longer a bad guy, it seems. He's kind of going back to that, I do what's best for my country. I am taking control of this place back. It's a shithole. We're going to work and bring it up. No, he's chosen to wear the mask because his face is all fucky again.
Yeah.
No, it's not fate or destiny's decided he has to wear. It's what he's chosen, and he's just going to do what he does. He seems very much to be more back on the magic side as of being opposed to against it. But it's cool. It's also a real. They knew exactly what they were doing in this issue. I don't know if you saw it right at the very end.
What?
That Scotty Young page.
Oh, with Doom?
No, with Mr. Impossible or Impossible Man. It's literally right. It's the last page of the book.
Look it up.
The very last page.
Because I remember there was like a little outro thing with a Doom story, and I was like, I probably don't have to read this.
I mean, you would probably have to read a Doom story. That's kind of important.
Oh, really?
But no, it's right after the cover preview for the next issue, and it's what Scotty Young's done, and it's just the Impossible Man complaining that the Fantastic Four aren't actually in the issue, despite it being the Fantastic Four issue, and it's like, what are you doing? So they knew exactly what they were doing. Otaku King, who I know is currently in the chat.
The fan page thing?
No, after the fan page thing.
It's just the cover art for next thing? Oh, that one. There it is. After the cover art.
What, it's the last page.
Oh, is this long for new FF and then even backyard?
Yeah.
That's funny.
They knew exactly what they were doing. We've had people in our Discord have that exact reaction. I don't know if they even saw that. It makes it funnier.
No, I'm 100% okay with them not being back to first one. I like the teasing of it.
Because to me, it makes, I said about it earlier. So, you don't bring them back in 2 and 1. You bring them back in the Fantastic Four book.
Well, this is the Fantastic Four book.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you can't just have them back.
So
that wouldn't make sense.
The thing I like a lot about them teasing it is that you're right, that you can't just bring them back the first issue. You have to over time to make it feel better. And look, all you had was this one page at the very end saying do you trust me, like Sue's saying, of course, and then they get it to work, and then eventually they'll find a way where they have to get. I mean, maybe we could see it from their perspective, right, of how they're getting back.
I'd love to see it from their perspective, because we only saw Reed and Sue. We didn't see any of the kids. We didn't see Dragon Man or the rest of the Future Foundation that was there. Where's Molecule Man?
Yeah, you gotta. That's right. You gotta make an adventure out of their return. I 100% agree. And what if they don't even know their kids are out there making universes and stuff?
I mean, I'd hope they know they're out there doing that.
Imagine that. You know what though? For not reading Fantastic Four in such a long time, I gotta say, when that part when Reed says no, and then just the only person who should be your best friend is Reed, that hit me. Not gonna lie.
That was my God.
And it makes sense. It's so, not having read Fantastic Four such a long time, this is something that I felt would happen in a Fantastic Four book. And I would, if you saw this in live action, that'd be great too.
I mean, if we ever get to the point in our lifetime.
I think in our lifetime, 100% we will. But was that Stan Lee at the very end after Luke Cage? It looks like Stan Lee.
I think it might have been. Hold on, I'm certain I saw Stan Lee in this.
It was after Luke Cage saying "Sweet Christmas," and it was this old man in a vest with glasses and white hair.
Yeah, that's Stan Lee. Oh, I should know. That's the guy who Ben told the flashback.
Oh, well, let's assume it's Stan Lee too.
I mean, you can think if it's. A slightly younger Stan Lee.
I will say
also,
though,
fun fact. They're all getting excited about a backwards 4.
Yeah.
Because the 4 is great from our perspective. If you're on Earth, it's backwards.
Yeah.
Not that that's an issue. It's just something funny that Discord.
I will say though, I don't know how I feel about. They were all crying, saying they're not really coming back, and then they see the 4 and they're like, "Huh? Unbelievable! What's going on? They're bad. It's about them." It just seemed too happy too quick. But I guess I get it because they saw the 4 and it wasn't them.
I was like, the way they played it off, ever since Ben and Johnny did it in Legacy, people have been mimicking it and using different signals to prop up, and every time it's fake. It's.
Yeah, but now in the sky, in space, it can't be anybody else but them.
Yeah, and the size of the thing.
Yeah, it's the size of Earth or more.
It's huge.
I like that. I'm definitely gonna be staying along with you on this.
Same.
It was a really fun issue, and just kind of the little story with a strong, and I enjoyed it.
Also, does Kirby stuff really well. The machine that Reed's working on looks fantastic, and it looks like modern day Kirby.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be, it's in good hands. You know, the fact that they knew exactly what they were doing with this issue. And it's like, oh, everyone's been wanting them back. Every little sign that they're going to be back, people have gotten excited, and even though it's not actually them coming back. But look, they're coming back. We're going to do this. It's like, here's some big new things, here's some interesting things. Yeah. You know, you've even got Doctor Doom back, or Victor. I don't know what he's going to be calling himself now. He looks like he could very much fit into the BC Avengers. This little like loincloth and rope. It's just like, you look like a caveman.
All right.
With your, but no, really good issue. I assume everyone. Because it's what everyone wanted.
100%, I agree. It was a great issue. I'm not gonna spend too much time on my last one anyway, so we can talk more about Fantastic Four if you want a little bit. Sandman Universe 1. Now, the only reason I'm not gonna spend too much about it is because it's your typical Rebirth legacy. Let's introduce it again to the newer audience, but also let's tease all the other titles that are spinning out of it, basically.
Yeah.
It's you had Lucifer in it, you had the house, whatever, you had...
I haven't personally read this, but I've heard it's not really new reader friendly.
I mean, it's not too new reader friendly, but there's some of it where it kind of like, you could be, you know? I feel, I get what people mean, but I feel like if you're an above average reader, and in that sense, I mean, if you just read comics, you know, you can kind of tell. Cause I'm not much of a Sandman guy, and I've never really read too much of it. I always thought it was cool, but just never read too much of it. And I kind of got the gist of everything out of this.
That's all right.
Like, if you're a savvy reader, then you should be able to get it. But if you're just, like, very new to comics, it's just going to be very difficult. Also,
it's just not a good starting place for, like, brand new readers.
No, also, though, that's the first time in a while I've seen an actual, like, comic that has a nude woman in it, or nude anybody. They actually have, like, this character who is just nude, and you can see her boobs. So, I don't know how else the way to say it, because there's kids in the chat. There's kids in the chat. I don't know what else to say.
I mean, I think the nude woman bit implies what you're seeing.
Okay, yeah. Don't hate on me for trying to get around it.
It was just funny. It's just that you can see
kids in the chat. But I don't read too much of these other. You know, I read Valiant, Swamp Image. I haven't read Sex Criminals, so I don't know if they
Sex Criminals. I mean, there's a lot of I mean, Sex Criminals literally. We jizz and we stop time.
Okay, there you go. So there's
you kind of understand what's going on.
So it's been a while since I was, when I used to read some of the older Vertical stuff. Sure, there's some of that in it, but it's been a while since I've actually seen it. So
I don't think I can remember.
Yeah,
I think probably the last thing I saw of that might have been Rat Queens, and I haven't read Rat Queens in a while.
And I don't read Rat Queens, and I've read some Image comics, but I don't. A lot of the comics I read don't have new people in it. And I'm not, I just. To me, this just puts it out there that this is trying to be different from DC regular comics. You're never going to see this in a DC comic. Maybe in Black Label. Maybe because I remember them saying that. Remember the White Knight one where the Joker was an actual person? Yeah. There was something about or here's a politician. I remember them saying there was like they wanted to do a sex scene with Joker and Harley, but they felt it was too much for regular DC, so that's why they made Black Label, I think.
Yeah.
So I guess you're maybe going to see more of that in Black Label. But yeah, that's just like, it's just been a while. I was like, oh, yeah, people still do that. I just thought comics is PG for everybody now.
I mean, no, like, most books are teen.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. But yeah, it's pretty, like I said, it's pretty much the typical Rebirth Legacy thing. It takes, takes pages out of those books where it's like, hey, we're going to start off something here, and then there's this character that's going to go around and kind of tease everybody else. So Lucifer, the Harry Potter book, the Monster House book, and something else. But essentially, the dreaming is broken or something like that, and Sandman has retired. He's like, I quit, basically, and the Sandman universe. I don't know. Okay, I think it's called the Dreaming. So that's just going to be about everybody in that world and kind of what they're gonna do, like how they're living with Sandman not being there now. The Harry Potter book. That's essentially what it is. I'm excited about it because I like Harry Potter and I think it could be a fun book. From the one A couple pages I read in this issue, I thought it was really enjoyable. The Harry Potter aspect to it. It's like this kid. He was late for school. He got there in time. A teacher said, "Read this book," and he's like, "I can't read anything of it." Everybody laughed, but you realize that's because you can only read it if you're like learning more about magic. So it's like she's gonna be teaching a magic inside this real school. It's not like a school for magicians. It's gonna be in like a real world type thing. Which interests me because that's always something I've always thought about. Like, well, Harry Potter, but in the real world, what if he didn't just go to a regular school for wizards? What if he went to just the hood? I don't know. What if he went to a private school? I don't know. Like, what would happen? So I'm interested for that. That's the only one. Maybe Lucifer, because the whole story is gonna be about finding his wife or his kid's mother. So
Yeah,
that could be interesting. But yeah, it's pretty much same old. It's fun. I would say I enjoyed it a lot because of the dialogue that the Raven had with all the other characters. So I'm looking forward to it. I remember seeing comments of everybody looking forward to what's gonna happen next. I think that's cool.
I say I have not seen. The only thing I saw about it was it wasn't really new reader friendly.
Yeah.
Everything else I've seen from this week is just Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So I would have read this. I just didn't have time.
Harry Potter sex scene in private school, probably. But yeah, I'm interested. I think the only ones I'm really gonna read are Harry Potter and Lucifer. I don't know about the other ones, the Monster House and the Dreaming, which is
You're actually gonna read Harry Potter?
Yeah, I'm gonna read the Harry Potter one. I like that. I like that. Oh, yeah.
What's it actually called?
Books of Magic.
Yeah,
it's Harry Potter basically.
They call it Books of Magic.
Why?
Because you're confusing me. I'm like, why are you reading Harry Potter?
But I actually might go back and read Harry Potter too. I want to go back and watch the movies for sure. But yeah, that's kind of it. That's all I really want to go through. The art was really great, and of course the art changed for each issue because the artists and the writers changed for each of the aspects when they tease the other books. So that Harry Potter, it kind of is, but I enjoy it. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most, and then Lucifer, of course, second. So, because Lucifer got a little gruesome. He killed 100 ravens for some reason. It's like, well, it's like blood everywhere. Poor ravens.
That's not so Raven.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much gonna round it back.
I was gonna say, I would have read more, but I only had time for. I mean, to be fair, I read
those.
Just a quick shout out to Adamantium Agenda. Spoilers if no one's read it. Laura Kinney's not necessarily a clone anymore.
Yeah.
X-23, she's a real girl. And it's just like, oh, my heart. But yeah, that's probably the better. There's a mutant pretend to not be a mutant, but or the other way around actually. But yeah, the important part is Laura Kinney. So
yeah,
shout out to Tom Taylor. He knows how to tear my heart in half. But yeah, that'll bring us to the end of this show. So thanks for stopping by, chat. We will be doing the post show in a second. So yeah, until next time.
Toodles.